Alright guys, hope you're doing well. So in this video I just wanted to simplify development a little bit because I think it can be a little bit complex. It took me a while to really understand what development's all about, and I think once you understand it, there's a very simple way of understanding it and of understanding its importance and why it's so important and what it's all about. So I'm just going to try and briefly summarize it in this video, because it can serve as a good purpose as to why to keep developing what it's all about. So this world, the universe, is a system. It's a hologram. It's been made by God, if you will. And the reason is, well, why has it been made? What's the point of it? What's it all about? So basically there is another world out there, the real world, which is infinite potential, a world that's very much different to our own. Call it heaven, call it multi-dimensional, call it hyperspace, whatever you want to call it. And in this realm, consciousness, souls, have basically unlimited potential in a way, just like God. And everything just happens instantly. The world is full of love and understanding. That's what reality is on the other side of this plane. It's just a world of love and understanding and pure potential and just complexity, which is just, you can't really put into words or explain what it's all about in this earth setting. So why did God create the universe? What's it all about? Why are we here? What's the point? Why is Dr. Wilson talking about development? Why do we talk about development, etc.? So if you think about it, if you're in this world of limitless potential, which is basically made up of love and understanding, souls and consciousness don't really know what it's all about. They don't have an opportunity to understand the meaning behind it, why it is, why they're not grateful, I suppose, in terms of what they've got access to, what it's all about. So if you create a universe and you create a human, in the Bible it says humans are made in God's image. Basically what it means is that we as a human, we can on this plane develop ourselves, get ourselves to a point where we have all of this limitless potential that you automatically get on the other side of this plane. So the idea is that you can come to Earth as a soul, as a unit of consciousness, and you inhabit this body. And the idea is when you come here, you'll get amnesia. You will forget where you've come from, and you're in this kind of plane that seems like it has limits, that seems like there's rules and laws, and there is to a certain extent. But the idea is as you move through life, and especially as you do something like the development program, what will start to happen is you'll begin this life forgetting everything, so you don't know anything. And as you go through life and you learn lessons, and you become more introspective, and you start to purify yourself, heal yourself, you learn about love, you learn about understanding, you learn about gratitude. As you begin to do this, all of a sudden you start to become aware, oh wow, actually I'm not just a ball of flesh that is here to just live and die. What I'm actually realizing, oh my God, I'm a soul, I'm a unit of consciousness. And you can go on this process of basically becoming all that you are on Earth, just the same as what you are on the other side of this plane, but you do it in a way where you do it from total unconsciousness, total not knowing, and total forgetting, to realizing, oh wow, I'm a soul, I'm a unit of consciousness. And as you go through the process of purification and healing and understanding, you basically get to know what you're all about, what consciousness is, what God is, what love is, what understanding is. So basically, this is just like a teaching platform to teach you about all of this good stuff on the other side. And that's why development is so important, because that's the reason why God created this universe, because he wanted souls, units of consciousness, to inhabit a body or to inhabit other bodies. But the body of a human is very, very special because it does have all the abilities that God has: the ability to love, the ability to understand, the ability to have reasoning, the ability to think into the future, the ability to create things. And on this plane, we actually can be whoever we want, create whatever we want, as long as we just focus our minds on it. In the other realm, that's an instant thing. So really what you're doing in development is, as you move through this process of being born and total forgetting and total understanding, to potentially going through this process of literally becoming like Jesus and the great masters, these people that have mastered the game, mastered the universe, the earth, to a point where they've fully understood, oh wow, everything that it means to be a piece of consciousness, to be God, to be Jesus Christ. So that's why it's so important. You know what I mean? If you just live a life whereby you're born and then you die, and you've not really developed yourself, you've learnt a few things, you might have been a smoker all your life, or an alcoholic, and then you die and you pass over to the other realm. Yeah, you've learnt some good stuff and it's been interesting, but you haven't fully experienced what it is to be fully, to understand what consciousness fully is. And that's what development's all about. Development is trying to get to that point where you've fully experienced what it's like to know nothing and then to know everything. So that's why it's so special. We're in a very, very special situation. If you think about it, what are the chances of us, one, going into a human body for a start, one, going into a body that has that potential to fully self-actualize themselves into basically what God is on a smaller scale? What are the chances of that? Then what are the chances of starting the nutritional balancing program? Then what are the chances of actually healing? Because it does take some time for people to heal. A lot of people fall off the bandwagon. Then you get into a position like me where you've kind of healed the sickness side of things, and now I'm in a position whereby I have a choice. I have an opportunity to keep on going and to learn more about what consciousness is, to learn more about what love is, to learn more about what understanding is, and to be fully like Jesus, like on the other realm. Everything is good and pure, and you can get to that point on earth, and you've really fully experienced what it is to be God, to be consciousness, to be what God wants us to understand. Yeah, I could go and live a life now and just mess around or whatever, and that's absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? You can do that. It's not an issue. I'm sure there's going to be times in the future where you can come back and try it again. But just this is just a video to explain why development is so interesting, so fun, so enlightening, because in many ways this is the only reason why God created this universe, for us to have the opportunity to start from nothing and to forget everything and then to remember everything. And the way to remember everything is to develop yourself to a deep, 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 deep level. And so that's it. Hope that's kind of simplified things a little bit. And keep tuned. Ciao.